Meet Mongol Pandy. He is a sepoy. He is fed up, and he has decided that the British East India Company can take their greasy new rifle cartridges and stuff them. First, let's set the stage. Here's the world our story unfolds in, around 1857, with Delhi right at the heart of it. The cartridges are greased with cow and pig fat, a combo that offends both Hindu and Muslim sepoys. The British, in a masterstroke of cultural insensitivity, have united their army against them. Pandy attacks 2 British officers, wounding one. His fellow sepoys hesitate to arrest him. Turns out they're not big fans of biting cartridges greased with sacred cows. Pandy is captured, tried, and hanged on April 8th. But his rebellion spreads like wildfire, because nothing says loyalty like executing a guy who was just trying to keep his religion. The sepoys of Meerut are having a very bad morning. Their 85 comrades just got sentenced to 10 years of hard labor for saying no thanks to the greasy cartridges. And here's Delhi up close, where our story really plays out. But the next day, the sepoys decide the British justice system could use some feedback. They storm the jail, break open the gates, and free their buddies with gusto. Now, dear viewer, nothing says we mean business like setting fire to the cantonment. The sepoys torch buildings and shoot any Brit who looks at them funny. The sepoys arrive at Delhi's Kashmiri Gate, breathless and furious. They've walked all night, and now they want answers and blood. The gate splinters. Sepoys pour inside, hunting down British officers. One poor fellow hiding in a cupboard is dragged out. Spoiler, it doesn't end well for him. The rebels storm the Red Fort, where the elderly Bahadur Shah Zafar is having a very quiet morning. Suddenly, sepoys are kneeling before him, demanding he lead. Bahadur Shah Zafar, age 81, sighs deeply. He never wanted this. But the sepoys are not taking no for an answer. Fine, he says. I'm the emperor again. The British, having just been kicked out of Delhi, are not thrilled. They rally at Umballa and Meerut, grumbling about the heat and the lack of proper tea. By June 8th, they've set up camp on the ridge north of Delhi, staring at the city's walls like they're a particularly stubborn stain. The British have brought cannons, because nothing says polite negotiation like a 24-pounder pointed at your front door. But the rebels are dug in, and the siege will drag on for 3 hot, sticky months. The British settle in for a long, grumpy picnic. General Wheeler, low on food and hope, strikes a deal with Nana Sahib. Surrender the fort in exchange for safe passage down the Ganges. Nana Sahib nods, smiling like a cat who just spotted a goldfish. On June 27th, the British emerge from the fort, men, women, children, and shuffle toward the riverbank. They clutch their belongings, eyes fixed on the boats that promise freedom. Spoiler, the boats are a trap. As the last boat pushes off, a whistle sounds. Sepoys hidden along the bank rise and open fire. The British realize, too late, that Nana Sahib's promise was worth exactly the paper it wasn't written on. The river turns red. Most of the 300 British are killed or captured. Nana Sahib, now the proud owner of a massacre, declares himself Peshwa. The British Empire, however, is about to write him a very angry letter in cannonballs. Inside Bibighar, the surviving women and children huddle together, praying for deliverance. Nana Sahib has other plans. Nana Sahib, hearing the British are closing in, gives the order, kill them all. The executioners look uneasy, but obey. Butchers enter the room, swords raised. The women scream, shielding children. It is chaos, blood, and horror, a stain on history. Over 200 bodies pile up. The well outside becomes a mass grave. The British will find it, and they will not forgive. On June 30th, the rebels swarm Lucknow like ants at a picnic. Begum Hazrat Mahal leads the charge, determined to evict the British from the residency. Inside the residency, Sir Henry Lawrence calmly sips tea as cannonballs thud into the walls. "Steady, chaps," he says, but his teacup rattles nervously. On July 2nd, a stray shell finds Lawrence's room. He's struck by shrapnel. The defenders carry him away, their faces pale, their leader is down. Lawrence dies 2 days later, muttering, "Let there be no more bloodshed." The rebels, unfortunately, didn't get the memo. The siege grinds on. Now the big move, the road from Meerut to Delhi. General Outram arrives with reinforcements, but he's too polite to take command from Havelock. "After you, sir." "No, after you." Classic British standoff. Highlanders charge through the narrow streets of Lucknow, kilts swinging, bagpipes wailing. The rebels are confused. Is this a battle or a parade? They smash through rebel barricades, taking heavy losses, but finally reach the residency gates. The besieged garrison erupts in cheers and tears. But Outram and Havelock realize they don't have enough supplies to evacuate everyone. So they double the garrison and double the siege. Surprise! You're still trapped. British sappers dash forward under a hail of bullets, lugging enough gunpowder to make a very big hole in the Kashmiri gate. The explosion roars, sending chunks of gate flying. John Nicholson roars, "Come on," and waves his sword, leading the charge into the breach. Inside Delhi, the rebels fight street by street, but Nicholson takes a bullet to the chest. He stumbles, still shouting orders, a true action hero until the end. After 6 days of brutal house-to-house fighting, the Union Jack flutters over the Red Fort. Delhi is back in British hands. The rebellion's heart has been ripped out. Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, flees Delhi on a horse, so old it looks like it's already been embalmed. He heads for Humayun's tomb, hoping dead emperors grant better asylum than the living. On September 21st, William Hodson, a man whose mustache seems to have its own aggressive personality, rides up to the tomb with a handful of cavalry. He demands the emperor surrender. Hodson promises Zafar his life if he surrenders. Zafar, who has seen enough broken promises to fill a library, nonetheless shuffles out. He's now a prisoner with a palace view of a tomb. Hodson then executes Zafar's sons in cold blood, their bodies dumped at a gate. The British call it justice. History calls it a massacre that stains the conquest. General Wyndham has a plan: hold Cawnpore until Campbell arrives. His plan goes up in smoke when Tatya Tope's rebels crash into him like a monsoon. Tatya's men drive the British back to the river, where Satichaura Ghat becomes a killing ground. Wyndham's soldiers fling themselves into boats, paddling like terrified ducks. Now enter Sir Colin Campbell, who arrives with a fresh army and a face that says, "I did not come here to lose." He glares at Tatya's position like a disappointed headmaster. Campbell's Highlanders charge with bayonets fixed, kilts flying, and bagpipes wailing like angry cats. Tatya's army breaks and runs, leaving Cawnpore firmly British again. Sir Colin Campbell's Highlanders arrive at Lucknow, ready to break through the Secunderbag. The rebels inside have no idea what's about to hit them. The Highlanders charge the breach, bagpipes wailing like angry geese. The rebels fire wildly, but the Scots are too hyped on haggis and vengeance. Inside the Secunderbag, the rebels fight desperately, but the Highlanders are a wall of tartan and steel. 2,000 rebels fall, and the garden runs red. Campbell's force links up with the besieged garrison at the Residency. After 87 days, the siege of Lucknow is finally broken. Cheers erupt. March 1858. Sir Hugh Rose arrives at Jhansi with cannons and a serious case of, "I'm here to ruin your day." Rani Lakshmibai, the Queen of Jhansi, straps on her sword and climbs the walls. She's not about to let some British gentleman take her city. The British bombard the walls day and night. Jhansi's defenses crumble like a stale biscuit under a very angry tea drinker. On April 4th, Jhansi falls. But the Rani, ever the escape artist, slips out on horseback with her son strapped to her back. See ya. June 1858. The Rani of Jhansi rides into battle near Gwalior, her sword raised high. She's not going down without a fight. The British 8th Hussars spot her. They charge, sabers drawn, because nothing says colonial superiority like cutting down a queen. A bullet finds her. She slumps in the saddle, but holds on. Even dying, she refuses to give them the satisfaction of a clean fall. She falls. The Rani of Jhansi, who fought like a lioness, is gone. But her legend gallops on, and Tatya Tope is still out there, smiling. Tatya Tope, the brilliant guerrilla leader, has been on the run for months. But betrayal is coming for him, and it's wearing a familiar face. On April 7th, 1859, Tatya Tope is captured while sleeping. He wakes up to find British soldiers pointing rifles at him, and his friend pointing a finger. Tatya is brought before a British court. The judge reads his sentence, death by hanging. Tatya listens, stone-faced, because he knows this was always the price of rebellion. On April 18th, 1859, Tatya Tope is led to the gallows. He walks tall, refusing to show fear. With a snap, the rebellion's last great general is gone, and so is the dream. On November 1st, 1858, the British government drops the mic on the East India Company. The crown takes over, and Queen Victoria becomes Empress of India. The company, once a scrappy trading outfit, is now just a bad memory. It's like getting fired via royal decree, no severance, just a crown. Queen Victoria, all the way in London, adds Empress of India to her business card. She's now got more titles than a romance novel. The Government of India Act is read aloud at Allahabad. Indian princes, now subordinate allies, seethe quietly. One mutters, "At least the company let us keep our palaces."